Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Well, today it's Good News Day, and we're going to start by congratulating Zara and Mike Tyndall on the birth of their son, Lucas Philip. I believe that it was a very quick birth, so fast that they did not even have time to make it to the hospital, and the baby was thus born at home. I'm just grateful that all worked out well, and I wish them everything of the best. Okay, it's almost too hard to keep up with all the Harry and Meghan news, but as I have decided from day one not to infringe on our ultimate news bringer, Yankee Wally's territory, this channel is not about bringing the latest news to you, but instead to have a discussion with you on the latest news, and sometimes even old news if and when it fits in with the news stories. And that is exactly what we'll be doing today. Firstly, Instagram and Twitter and the news media is buzzing with the news that Harry now has a job being the Chief Impact Officer at BetterUp. But before I get into what I think about this, let us talk a bit about that seven-figure salary and share options that he will receive. And let us talk about accountability and the rules and laws of the United States. At some point, someone has to start asking the questions which really matters. And the first one I would like to ask pertains to Harry's stay in America. What type of visa is he on that allows him to now work as a salaried employee in the United States? I know it is possible to get a work visa or permit for the United States, as we know at least two of the local young men working on farms in America. However, they come home annually, and only due to COVID did they manage to get their visas extended for another year. I also met a young man a few years ago who worked for a tech company in the UK, and he had to come home every 6 months until his application for permanent residency was approved after about 2 or 3 years. I can't remember. I have friends working in other countries who, until COVID struck, were doing the exact same thing and had to return to South Africa once every 6 or 12 months, depending on their contracts. As a matter of fact, one of my best friends teach in Vietnam and had to come back annually for a couple of weeks or a month. Due to the pandemic, she now only has to return early next year. And although I'm saying come back, I know that they have to, at the very least, leave the country, and then some of them take the opportunity to travel, unless, of course, they need to come back to renew their passports. So, what is Harry doing? Is anyone checking on his status? Is he getting preferential treatment? Where will he be paying tax? In the United States or the United Kingdom? Or both? As they have allegedly bought a property and obviously intends to stay in the United States, will he now renounce his titles and apply for a green card? You see, as a member of the royal family, we need to be told this. We have a public interest in his status in the United States. Anyway, there are a lot of jokes and memes about Harry's job description. And like all of you, I'm smiling and feel like it's just a bunch of woke word salad. And it makes me think of all the team building, better working relations, and successful selling techniques a company I worked for in the late 80s used to send us on. I used to find a seat close to the back exit and would take frequent smoke and toilet breaks. I just was not into some ex-sportsman yelling and waving his arms and striding the stage until the sweat was pouring off him. And I was always amused by how inspired some of my colleagues would be for a day or two, just to revert back to being who they are and doing what they've done before. It was also always noticeable that it was the nastier ones who were always the most inspired. I guess the rest of us were already nice, or at least cordial, to our colleagues and clients. Like most of you, I do not think Harry is qualified to address mental health on a professional level, nor do I think he is qualified to address racism or any other kind of prejudice, not professionally anyway. However, I personally think that it is a very good thing that he now has a job, even if his job does not mean sitting in an office every day and dealing with pesky paperwork along with everything else that everyone else deals with on a daily basis. I still think this would be good for Harry. It will once again give him set goals, set deadlines, and a purpose. Remember how I also mentioned in my last video that you have to distance yourself from a narcissist. This will give Harry the opportunity to do so and to spend hours or maybe even a day or two away from Megan. I read that the Better Up offices are in San Francisco and that he will be expected to attend meetings and be in the office for a certain period of time or a certain number of days or weeks or whatever. So hopefully he will not take his wife to work and he will have that time, which will be the best and healthiest way for him to gain perspective on his own life. Will he be manipulated and is he being used by BetterUp? Of course he is. But at this point in time, it is the lesser of the two evils. I feel, so what if he becomes one of those yelling, joking, arm-waving, sweating preachers on stage? I am not going to be the fool to pay thousands of dollars to have my employees go listen to him. So what if he becomes an online woke preacher? I'm not going to use that app. Personally, I do not think it will last long either. But I still think this has come at the right time for Harry. Now, all that needs to happen to make me even happier is for him to renounce his titles or for it to be taken away. And then I will be 100% happy to call him Mr. Windsor or Mr. Wales, the Chief Impact Officer of Buttercup. Oops, I meant Better Up. Sorry, I've been thinking Buttercup. Anyway, so folks, that's all from me for now. I'm still working on that gossip video I promised, and it should be up later or tomorrow. Until then, in the words of one of my favorite channels, The Voice of Reason with Alex Belfield, I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, guys, bye.